13 Folds like to call them, the Counts of Monsanto.
Yes. So if that's not a perfect example of people buying into politics...
Well, and you see it in every aspect,
yes.
You know, who runs BEMRI and who gives out these offshore oil drilling certificates.
These
Geez, it's guys who work in the oil industry, and guess what they're going to do when the next president's elected and they're not in that? They're going to go right back to work for the oil industry.
Exactly. They're always going to be making the money. And that's
right. So why shouldn't they they know in 4 or 8 years I'm going to go back to this job, so while I'm here I might as well make that job a little easier.
Shall we even consider getting into who got the contracts to rebuild Iraq, or is that too much of a too much of a tinfoil hat for this broadcast?
Well, no, I mean, hey, the numbers
it's
are
all
there,
intertwined.
Man. Halliburton, that's it's a big.
It's all really connected more than people realize.
Right, it's a big web, I
yes,
think.
And people really have to wake up to the fact that if you love the land of the free, you love your country, then you have to realize what really makes us able to have our freedoms. And how free are we? You know what I mean? We should be able to decide what freedoms we have. Our government was made to protect us and to serve us. We lost that somewhere along the line. We totally forgot about that. We are now serving our government. That has never been the reason for it.
Well, yeah, and I think when it comes down to it, we are viewed by many of the people in power as simply mechanisms of consumption, input, output.
Yeah,
we are, carbon-based tax banks, basically.
It's basically we're cattle.
Yeah,
we're really cattle, and it's sad to say, but we're revenue. We're really just revenue. And that's what we're trying to change. And when we're coming to the cannabis cause, this is something where it's a bigger fight. It's about the cannabis itself, of course, but it's also about our freedoms.
And I think
about our right to choose.
Probably like other people in this media segment, the alternative media world, I mean, I'm personally not yet convinced that there isn't anything that we can do. A lot of people, I think, when they think of all these issues, the first thing to do is throw up their hands and say, there's nothing I can do, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to binge watch Daredevil for the next 48 hours. We're seeing, especially with technology on our side, just like what we're doing here today, I think we're seeing steady progress towards the right thing happening in certain segments. It's not right across the board, but I think you're seeing progress in environmental issues. We're seeing progress in personal freedoms and in cannabis. And it all really is these strange bedfellows, these odd coalitions coming together, and we don't agree on 85% of the things, but here's what we agree on, and we all band together.
But
and
there's
that united front.
Agreeing on it, it's having the opinion on it.
Yeah.
Being able to have the opinion on it and having that heard.
Yeah. Well, but also to have the outlet, the outlet to have your voice heard. The media has been co-opted in this country by those same powerful concerns that buy politicians and buy campaigns.
Unless you have $1 for a holler.
Yeah. I still don't know what that means. Am I showing my whiteness by admitting that I don't know what that means?
But your message will get heard if you have the right funding behind it.
Well, and I think if your message will be heard if you speak the truth. I think people will find it if you speak the truth. Now, I mean, the flip side is certainly true with the access to, quote, alternative media. I mean, anybody can start a blog and say whatever they want.
Yes.
And it leads to, frankly, there's a lot of crazies out there that spout crazy stuff. And speaking of which, Pat has rejoined us after his bombing run of advertising rate sheets here around the cannabis convention. So welcome back, Pat. Did you drum up any revenue for the show? Or
is that why we're here? I thought we were here really out of sort of a philosophical purity, a sense of engagement with the community at large.
Well, philosophical purity ain't cheap, my friend.
That's a lesson I've learned my entire life, believe me. No, just enjoying the crowd here. It's a great crowd. This is the crummy weekend for May. So what better place to spend it than here at the Rhode Island Convention Center at CannaCon 2015? And as we sit here at the Halfway Tree Jamaican Restaurant Broadcasting booth. Say that 3 times quickly, my friend. You've got a really great mix here of people from the medical community. You've got people here from testing, people here on the production side, people here who are obviously intimately involved in patient care. You've got political advocacy here. You've got some fashion stuff, some publications. It's a really great mix of stuff, and certainly worth a trip down here on a rainy Saturday afternoon here at the Rhode Island Convention Center. And, of course, if you walk into the building, say hi. We're the second booth on the right, and we're broadcasting from the Cannabis.
I got to hand it to you, Pat. You got us a prime location. Now, I just assumed that we would be in what they call the obstructed view seats, or possibly over there near the restrooms where people would ask us for a mint on their way out. But we got prime real estate today.
This is we're living large, as Tony and I always do, and we will be here tomorrow afternoon because this is a marathon, not a simple sprint.
And by the way, you may have the charge of a seat on your account because I'm about to blow this thing out. I mean, they really gave us some dinky chairs.
Wait a minute, I gave them your credit card number.
I mean, it's fine.
You should have given them my credit card number. That would have been a laugh.
Boing.
What is the sound of an electronic check bouncing?
Yeah, it's a high-quality show here, folks. And, of course, we're joined by our good friend DJ Psycho Eddie, who's acting both as co-conspirator and security.
Keeping away the throngs, as it were.
I'm just keeping the masses off of the airwaves, keeping that nice, safe distance away so you can't hear all the conspiracy that's going on less than 10 feet away.
Plus, with DJ Psycho Eddie, myself, and Pat here, we're actually we're causing a gravitational pull towards the booth.
Oh my! So what events have you guys got coming up in terms of the Fat Squirrel? But speaking about the epicenter of all things cannabis,
yes.
It would appear that the Fat Squirrel has become sort of its own personal vortex, if you will.
It is almost its own little society. It's come to be. It's definitely a great new addition to the normal family. We've been going every Friday. We had to miss the few Fridays coming past just to get ready for the Cannabis Convention. But we're going to be there for every Friday for reggae night. We set up a booth with our dank darlings, and it's been a great time since we started going. Probably about 4 months back. So
it's sort of a Cheers meets reggae dance hall.
Isn't it it's a very comfortable environment. It's one of those places where you walk down those stairs and everybody does know your name, and then you get a nice little meat patty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
is that what they're calling it?
You can't really lose.
Mark's waiting to walk into the Fat Squirrel, and everybody goes normal.
That was good.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad, yeah.
Pat and I, we've talked a little bit off the air about the idea of libertarian-leaning companies or small businesses and maybe folks who sport cannabis kind of giving each other a little bit of extra business. I mean, you can't completely keep it in that circle, but the idea of folks supporting each other with small businesses that lean libertarian, that are for legalization and throughout a litany of issues. And I think we're seeing that with the Fat Squirrel. Yes. Our friends at 13 Folds, they're there on Thursdays. There's a big show coming up to kick off Memorial Day with one of Pat's favorite bands, Jody Jolt and the Vault. They're going to be there next Sunday. So it really has been this group of people.
They are not just
financially,
a band, by the way. They are actually happening.
They're their own scene. That's for sure.
So the Libertarian Party won't be having coffee at Blue State Coffee anytime soon.
Now
how about Doreen Costa's coffee shop? Maybe we could.
Yeah. No. Well, we don't go to Democratic Party.
You mean the Helen Lovejoy of the Rhode Island State Legislature? Won't somebody please think of the children?
Oh my. Yeah. No. The Fat Squirrel / Halfway Tree Cafe is great food, great booze, great music. It's pretty much perfect, and should actually become your summer headquarters. Fair statement?
I agree.
One of the things that we talked about from our last podcast there was you can sit at home and flick through YouTube and all these things, Netflix and Hulu and all these entertainment outlets. And, frankly, you spend more time looking for something to entertain you rather than being entertained. And when you go out to a live music club like this, it's right there. You go down there, it's right there for you to enjoy. You don't have to spend an hour dicking around on YouTube trying to find something to watch.
Great point, too, is you're supporting your community.
Yeah.
You really are. You're supporting a local business. You're supporting local music mostly.
Right.
So really giving back to the community while having that entertainment value.
Unless you've clicked on the Rhode Island freeradio.org entertainment portal, in that case, just stay on there all night.
That's it.
We don't have a problem with that.
When you have you talk to Tony's point, when you have your meetups, you're regularly inviting vendors who are friendly to the cannabis community as well as friendly to the Libertarian Party community.
Correct, yes.
And there's no charge for that, I believe, right?
Nope. Open. It's basically whoever would like to come by is free to come by. There's no reason why such an event should be a closed event.
Mm-hmm.
There is such a mixture of different people who believe in the same causes. They might have other causes, but they also have shared causes. So why not just open up the panel and let everybody speak?
There you go.
Yeah. So now is that I didn't notice that you take the microphone at these meetups, kind of in between bands and kind of MC things a little bit.
No, not so much. I mean, usually we actually hire I believe they hired a comedian last time we had the events. Myself, I'm more out there talking to the people face to face, person to person. Not really the stage type, you know what I mean? I'd rather talk to the people and really hear their stories, connect with them and see what their thoughts are about the new laws, the new issues going on, or personal issues. May come to, medical issues, difficulties obtaining licensure, or, just their opinions on what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I myself, I'd rather keep on talking to the people, person to person, than sticking on a mic and, talking over some loudspeakers.
I think that's a great approach for what you guys are trying to do. I mean, all change comes from the bottom.
Yes.
Grassroots is the way it happens, and you don't. We can't all be Mahatma Gandhis and Martin Luther Kings. To think that you're going to get up and change vast swaths of people's minds about an issue. That's not really how it happens. It happens by changing people's minds one at a time.
Exactly.
And you can only do that through that kind of personal. Hey, you know what? I used to think that all people who like marijuana are like these, degenerate stoners. But I met this guy Mark Ward, and he's a normal guy. He's got a real job, and he didn't come across as flighty or flaky or anything like that. So that type of interaction is what's going to change people's minds.
You can't really do that over a PA system. I mean, you can get a lot heard. Don't get me wrong. You can get a lot heard over a PA system, but you can't hear very much, and that's where the change comes.
Yeah.
It's not just in what you're trying to say. It's what you get back from these people that really matter.
Yeah, as soon as you put a bullhorn on it, you're just preaching to the choir,
Exactly.
basically.
I'm not talking to numbers. I'm talking to people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the real big point. I'm talking to the people and not just a crowd.
Winning hearts and minds, as the old adage goes.
It's not that old, is it? Wasn't that our foreign policy?
And we were greeted as liberators.
For a while.
So if you can believe it, we only have a half hour left in this broadcast. So I would be remiss if I didn't get to a little local music. And then I believe you have now someone you have already scared away on today's broadcast.
Well, I think they scared themselves away.
I do have a couple
Seeing our extremely professional setup here, I think it kind of intimidated people a little bit. All these computers and wires and projectors and such.
So we're going to spin, this fits in perfectly. We're going to hear from a great local group. Actually, you'd be surprised. This is only a two-piece group. They're called the Nymphadels, and this song fits perfectly into our theme of this live broadcast from the Rhode Island Cannabis Convention. This is a song called Sin right here on Rhode Island Free Radio. It's RIFreeradio.org.